Hey everyone, it's Andy with Reverb. Good to see you again. And today I'm checking out the Death by Audio Crossover Fuzz. You may be familiar with crossovers in your home stereo speakers or in your car, where the signal is sent to different frequency ranges like a subwoofer or a tweeter to better separate the music. And they've done this with the Crossover Fuzz by splitting your signal and sending it to a low pass and high pass filter. You could use it in mono or stereo and also move that frequency and get some experimental fuzz tones and even wah effects. So let's get into it. The Death by Audio Crossover Fuzz starts off by splitting your signal in two. These carefully tuned parallel circuits have their own volume and gain to allow a blend of clean and dirty signals, or build up a massive fuzz tone for your guitar by sending all the low end to a bass amp and the mids and treble to a cranked up guitar amp. The frequency knob sets the crossover point between these high and low pass filters. Manually moving it gives you all shades of fuzz as the two circuits filter and clip at different points. The resonance knob further enhances the richness and harmonics of the signals, going from a little extra hair to highly resonant and volatile. You can also control this frequency sweep with an expression pedal or Death by Audio's new photo modulator. The light coming into this sensor controls where the frequency is set, so you could wave your hand or your foot over it, opening up new possibilities for rigs of all kinds. The Death by Audio Crossover Fuzz is available right now on Reverb, and for a limited time you can find it in an exclusive white colorway version. So before we get too in-depth with all those applications, let's just start simple and isolate each filter, the low and high pass, and see what kind of range we get. So that's just a good lesson on what a low-pass filter is doing. It's filtering out all the high end, basically, and we could kind of take it down into nothing here. And you can see where the expression pedal would be really handy. In that case, you get some really just wide filter sweeps. But again, let's just start by isolating the other filter and then blend these two together and see what kind of sounds we get. So in this case, we're cutting low end as we increase that frequency knob. And of course, you can keep things clean, and that is really helpful when you blend the two. So let's try something like that. Kind of a cleaner high end and then just a really gnarly low end fuzz. More frequency range in the low pass filter. Before it was kind of just the sub frequencies. And we have the resonance to further enhance those sounds. It really just kind of opens up each filter. More subtle use of the resonance, it kind of brings the mids up as well. And now with the expression pedal plugged in, let's try some other sounds and even get some cleaner filter sweeps and phaser effects. And the thing here too is that the frequency knob is still in play here. It kind of sets your minimum value. So something like the low pass filter where it kind of just disappears, you might want to just set that minimum value so your sound doesn't go away completely. And the high pass filter has some really interesting sounds as well when you sweep through with the expression pedal. And like I said, that's just kind of scratching the surface. We have stereo outputs to play with, and you could send the low pass to one amp and the high pass to another. So I'm just going to bring up my favorite UAD plugin, the Ampeg SVT VR, and I'm just going to send the low signal through that. And I'm going to send the high frequencies through my normal amplifier and make it kind of sound really distinct by adding a little bit more reverb. And then we could use that expression pedal to pan between them. And it's just not a normal pan because we're sweeping frequencies. So, make sure you have some headphones on or sitting in front of some stereo speakers to hear the full effect. And as an alternative to an expression pedal, let's try out the photo modulator. This one has a normal TRS jack, and you could plug it into anything that has an expression input. Alright, so obviously we'll probably want to put it on the floor, and you could just hover your foot over it, or on a dark stage, even shine a light, or just experiment. It's just all about having fun here and just kind of getting some unconventional expression sounds. Well, there's your look at the Crossover Fuzz from Death by Audio. Just a whole lot of fun and really inspiring both in mono and stereo. You can find it along with the new photo modulator expression controller right here on Reverb. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
What?